Hello, it's Chad Lutzke. I was tagged in this book thing by Mr. Max Stark, graphic artist, reader, dude from Mexico. I think that's where Max is from. Yeah, so I've got some questions on here. I told him that I would participate, and my phone's dead. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So, what is your favorite book? I'm bad with favorites, but I'll tell you what. One of my most favorite reading experiences ever was when The Green Mile came out, and it came out in like 6 paperbacks, like one every month or something like that. It was serialized, which is something that was done back in the day and hadn't been done for a long time. So when Stephen King did it, it's kind of like this, felt like this new thing. That was awesome. My wife and I read them together. This is a long time ago, whenever it first came out. We started the books, I think, after 4 of them were out. So, and each book has massive cliffhangers. It was so much fun. King doesn't do any of that like fluff stuff. It's just a great story. And I think that by the 5th or 6th, we actually had to wait like a month, and which was kind of a drag, but it was cool. It was worth it. Best reading experience ever. Maybe it's because I was doing that with my wife. I don't know. So maybe I would have to say Green Mile or Boy's Life or Green Mile, I guess. Next question is a line from a book that sticks with you. You know, I'm real bad with retaining stuff, except for like lyrics. Here's a line that always sticks with me. How about Jesus wept from the Bible? 2 words. Talk about easy to remember. Favorite horror book? You know, I mean, I guess you could classify Green Mile as horror. I don't know. I'm bad with favorites. I'm sorry. I don't know that I can just name a favorite of something. A book that inspired me to become an author. I had this really cool hardcover of Edgar Allen Poe stories that I read through, and that's when I started writing, was when I was reading that. My prose was it was more purple and it was more dense than it is now. It's not that I like his writing, man. I just loved his stories and the stuff that he came up with. I guess Poe, yeah, that collection of Poe stories. A book that makes you cry. You know what? I think I teared up when I read Green Mile, but I know that I teared up reading Rio Yuer's Westlake Soul. Oh, and when John Bowden had sent me his short story Maggie's Farm that later would become Out Behind the Barn, I cried at the end of his short story Maggie's Farm. That's how cool it was even before we turned it into a book. Favorite book I read in high school? None. I freaking hated reading. Never read a book in high school. Hated reading. I read Fangoria and Famous Monsters of Filmland and Circus Magazine, Hit Parader, and Maximum Rock and Roll. That's about it. A book that you love to reread. I don't normally reread books, but I did reread this, and I'll probably read it again. It's Black Gum by J. David Osborne. It's not a book that I recommend because it's one of those things where it's like, this is perfect for me. This scratches an itch for me personally. It really doesn't have much of a plot. It's just it's a great example of very lean economy of words. That's why I like it. It trusts the reader, and it's just kind of like I'm a big fan of just dialogue driven film, indie film, character driven stuff, and that's kind of what this is. I'm thankful for the book. I really enjoy it, but I could see why maybe somebody wouldn't. But it was the year that I read it. It was my book of the year, my top read. A book that always makes you feel happy. So I'm assuming this is a book that you go back to and reread. I don't reread anything. You know what, man? Bible has made me happy on numerous occasions, particularly the New Testament. Some Proverbs. There's some wisdom in there, or Psalms. Some beautiful, beautiful writing in there. So we'll go with that. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? A book I can't wait to read. A couple days ago, I just ordered Chasing the Boogeyman by Richard Chismar, and it was supposed to be here today, and I'm pissed because it's not, because I was going to start it today, and it's not here, so we'll go with that one. A book you want people to think you've read that you actually haven't read. I don't give a crap what people think I've read, honestly, but maybe if I had to choose, then I would say either Frankenstein by Mary Shelley or The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. Jack's one of my absolute all-time favorite. That's his most popular book, and I'm too scared to read it. And I'm not ashamed. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, Max, for tagging me and for listening to me gab about probably answers that aren't very good anyway.